into my dreams. We're gonna rock tonight for a while. Come on, rock this place, even in the dark.
Oh my God, Caldor, we're at the GSTL semifinals part 2. FXOpen against Prime. Only one of these teams will be going to Vegas. I am so excited to find out which one it's going to be.
This is going to be really great today. We have FXO against Prime, and this is going to be so epic. This is going to be a super cool match. The semifinals yesterday were already great, but today is, I think this is going to be a really, really close match.
It's going to be such a close match. It's going to be awesome. These two teams are so evenly matched, I feel like. They both have star players, but they both have great supporting players, both have great snipers. We are just going to see, I think this series should go longer than some of the other ones we've seen this season. I don't think we're going to see an all-kill. We're not going to see one team kind of have a sweeping victory. I don't think that's going to happen, man. I think we're going to have an epic series here. And this is so stressful for everyone. There's so many people in the studio. The studio is packed. The two teams, only one of them is going to Las Vegas. All of these players, for the most part, except the ones who have gone to foreign events, have never been to America before. They want to go. They want to see what it's like. They want to go to Las Vegas, a great place to go and visit. And, of course, see the whole IPL event. And it all comes down to this, man.
Exactly, it does. And today is going to be epic also because both teams are here with their best lineup. We have, of course, all those great players for the Prime team, like, for example, Marine King. We also have Maru, the Marine Prince. We have Creator, who just got his makeup a few seconds ago. And here are today's teams. We have Prime with the captain, Anyong. We have FXO, the captain, Oz. And this is just going to be so exciting today, especially FXO. I talked to a few players, I talked to Lucky, and he's just so nervous before today's match. This is what it comes down to.
Yeah, this is absolutely what it comes down to, man. I cannot wait to see these teams collide. We talked a lot to FXOpen about some of their strategies, and we'll see how those unfold. Because, as I said, I've said time and time again, I feel like with FXOpen, they have a bunch of great players, but their plan has to come together. And sometimes you can see in their team matches, their plan doesn't quite come together. Something changes, and once their plan falls apart, they seem to struggle, whereas Prime seems to have a little bit more wiggle room with their ideas. So we'll see what happens here, but FXOpen, when their plans go well, they go really well.
And the thing about FXO as well is that in the past, in the recent clan wars and the team battles, we've seen Choya play every single time, and he was able to win his matches. I'm not quite sure if you're really going to see Choya today. It's going to be really interesting if he puts himself into the roster once more. But here are our teams.
Here they are indeed, and they're getting ready, shaking hands here. Our coaches. I'm actually so excited, man. I can't wait.
Choya is in troll mode again. He was just bouncing around the whole time, like really happy and excited, and both teams are so excited to be here, to be in the semifinals. But obviously, it's about winning today's match. Everyone wants to go to Vegas.
Everybody wants to go to Vegas, man. But only one team will go. Gerard giving some kind words here, trying to get his team motivated and ready, make sure they're not too nervous. This is what it's all about as a coach, getting your team pumped up, but also making sure that their nerves stay in check. Make sure they know that win or lose, they're going to go home as a team today.
I'm already pumped up, Will. This is... I can't stress enough how exciting this is going to be today. We have a huge crowd here in the studio. Yesterday we've had to send some of the fans home because the game stream actually plays at Lotte World and not in the studio itself. But today there's a huge crowd already. We have some fans from Australia, some even from Germany, which is really, really awesome. And today's match is going to be so epic.
It absolutely will, man. I cannot wait. Here is our FXOpen team sitting in the booth. And to be honest, they don't look that nervous. In fact, the Prime team looks pretty happy and confident as well. Yeah. Neither team's looking really stressed out or nervous. That's the best way to be.
Lucky, for example, is I looked at him earlier and he was even shaking a little bit. I asked him, are you nervous? He's like, oh, so nervous, so nervous. But here they are, the players today. We have the captain, we have Anyong, Prime, and Boom Boom, our opening player today. Another Zerg for the Prime team.
Yep, there's Bumblebee, formerly known as Terry, as a strong Zerg player. And Salmosa, one of Prime's newer players. Also and of course, the king of Marines, Marine King.
Yes, he just won MLG.
And Bjorn, formerly known as Bjorn, currently Ghost King.
He played awesome in the last match, and so did Maru, the Marine Prince.
Indeed, and here is Creator, a really strong pro. I've actually commentated StarCraft with this guy before, a smart player, classic, always a classic Prime player. to put a little pun on it there. He's a very strong player, especially in PvP. We'll see who comes out today. Prime looking happy. You can see a little bit of stress in some of the players. You can see Maru is dead center there, the youngest player to ever be in Codes.
And Maru is still a mystery to me. I just don't get how a player that is only 14 years old can be so calm all the time. And we've seen him sitting in the bench, in the booth. And he looks like he's the calmest of all of them.
Yeah, he almost sometimes looks bored. Like right now I can see, he's there, he's thinking a lot. There's so many things going through his head right now. As there should be. I mean, this is an important match. And he's got something planned, I'm sure. He's got so many different strategies available to him. We're going to take a look at our FXOpen team here. Here is Choya, head coach.
The man with a plan.
The man with a plan. I think that's a great way to put it. Oz, a very strong Protoss. Great in PvT and also in PvP. Here's Tyr, a newer player who has made quite a splash recently.
And of course, we also have ASD, the first Terran player in the lineup, joined by the best.
Indeed, the best. Not only the best, but Gumiho, our starting player.
Exactly, up against Bumblebee. Boom Boom.
Right.
And
here's XD, almost qualifying for Code, a newer player formerly known as Innate Master.
Lenok.
Yeah, Lenok, man, a really, really strong Zerg. And of course, Lucky, a player with a lot of variety in his playstyle, a great CVT player. And Whale, someone we haven't seen too much, but someone who definitely shows a lot of promise.
He played quite well at the Code A qualifier. I've seen him play a few games at the last WCG. He got a little bit of an easier roster, but he had some very good games that he has shown in Busan. And here's our FXOpen with 5 Zerg players, quite a lot of them.
Yep.
And
what a tough match to call today, man.
Yeah, exactly. I thought quite a lot about who I actually think is going to win today, and I have no idea. I think it's going to be one of the closest matches that we've seen in the GSTL so far, and it's just going to be so great, and I'm so excited already. Usually this happens when we have like the last few games, and you can really complicate who is going to win this, are they able to turn around or whatever, but today every game counts. Every single one counts.
Well, I can tell you one thing, either FXOpen or Prime will be advancing today.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we know for sure.
Yeah, they will go to Las Vegas. And yeah, we actually know something that is kind of disturbing to me. We just, I got the news yesterday that our makeup girls are not going to Las Vegas. I'm a little bit scared because I think, obviously IPL has people taking care of it, but
they've never worked with you before. They don't know how to do your hair.
Exactly. I'm kind of worried that they get my hair wrong, and
they may get your hair wrong, man.
Yeah.
And if they get your hair wrong, everyone's going to notice because your hairstyle is the kind of hairstyle that most people can notice if it's slightly off that day. Everyone is going to be talking about it. You will look really bad. But I'm sure the IPL makeup people, I don't know who they are. I've never worked with them before either. I'm sure they'll be fine, but it is a little bit stressful. I can understand, you're going to be on a long flight. You're going to be sitting there the whole time thinking about what they're going to do to your hair. It is really stressful. It's almost as stressful as being in Choya or Gerard's position right now, trying to decide exactly how this team match is going to go. It's almost as stressful, I would say. Yeah,
I'm really completely stressed out. I have no idea what to do, but I think we'll figure it out within the next few days. We have still 3 days left before we leave.
Well, since we'll get to Vegas a little bit early, you'll have time to talk with them.
Exactly.
You can do some practice runs maybe.
Yeah, that is actually a good idea.
And possibly we could get you some wigs in case, things go wrong. You could have a backup plan.
Yeah, worst case scenario. But we'll have a quick interview now with our 2 coaches today.
Yep.
마음은 이미 인천공항에 가 계실 두 분의 감독님을 만나볼게요. 프라임의
Okay, this time we're going to have the interview before the first match.
네,
Yep.
FX의 이영석 감독님 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 박아식 감독님 먼저 이번에 2시즌 연속 4강전에 올라오셨는데요.
Of course, our prime coach
4강전을
and
맞이했을 때랑
Choya, Gerard
다르실
is
것
the
같아요.
idea.
어떠신가요?
저번 시즌에 저희가 4강전에 진출했을
You advanced the semifinals 2 times in a row. How do you feel?
드라마를 보여주면서 이렇게 진출에 성공을 했는데 이번
Last time when we advanced to the semifinals, it was almost a miracle.
보여줬고
But this time, he feels that they had a really strong performance and they just advanced because of how strong they played in the last matches. He thinks that his teams as a whole just developed a lot in the
감독님,
I would absolutely
FX는
agree
정말
with
패자전을 2번이나 거치면서 불굴의 의지로 여기까지 왔습니다. 4강전을
FXOpen came all the way up from the losers bracket, and that happened twice. Of course, she's asking how he feels about that, and a very, very tough road for FXOpen to make it all the way here. When we were in the losers bracket, the team atmosphere was really bad, and we thought, of course, we're not going to advance. But it seemed like a miracle happened, and now we've been able to advance.
요즘 이영석 감독님 기세가 대단한데 제가 알기로는 코드 A 예선 계속 도전하고 계신 걸로 알고 있거든요. 혹시 보직 변경에서 플레인 감독으로 나오실 생각은 없으신가요?
Choya has been playing in the Code A preliminaries, so what do you think about that, Gerard?
저는 게임을 해도 제가 잘할.
Do you also feel like you could be a playing coach?
예선을 나간 건데 그렇다고 이영석 감독한테 비교되는 건 좀 그렇게 좋은 것 같지는 않습니다.
아 그런가요?
He thinks that he's a pretty good player.
감독님이
And
나오신다면
he doesn't really want to be compared to Choya.
1승 주시겠다는데 감사히 먹어야죠.
네, 오늘 경기 전부터 기세 싸움이 대단합니다. 어저께
I don't think the prime coach would stand
결승
any
진출하는 거
chance
두 분
against
다
me.
보셨을 것 같은데요. 김강복 감독님께서 어떤 팀이 올라와도 괜찮을 것 같다 이렇게 말씀하셨는데 김강복 감독님의 속마음이 뭐였을까요?
일단 스타테일 팀은 우선은 이제 라스베가스 진출했기 때문에
Yesterday when StarTale won, the coach said he's fine with any of both teams advancing. So basically talking about the Star Coach team, that he's happy with either FXO or Prime.
Yeah, he doesn't care who he's going to face in the
만약에
finals.
스타테일 컨택 팀을 만난다면 자신 있으신가요?
스타테일 컨택이 정말 강력한 팀이지만 저희 팀이
And she asked if he's confident if they would have, in case they advance to the finals, if he's confident
실력만으로는
against
큰
StarTale.
무대에서 이길 수 있다고 생각하지 않아요. 그거에 따른 기세나 얼마나 준비를 많이 하나에 따라 달라기 때문에.
He thinks that his team is really strong skill-wise, and he is quite positive that if they advance, that they are able to take down
제대로 된
StarTale.
징크스를 스타테일에게 안겨주도록 하겠습니다.
아 무섭네요.
오늘 못 올라가실 것 같은데.
아 그렇군요. 감독님은 어제 인터뷰
Oh wow,
어떤
Choya
생각하셨나요?
he just said, I don't think you're going to advance today.
프라임 박예식 감독님이 아까 결승전만 생각하고 계신다는데 솔직히 좀 납득이 안 가네요. 저희도 결승을 생각하고
I think the
있는데
prime coach is thinking too much about the finals. He should actually concentrate on the semifinals.
감독님 또 결승 올라갈 자신 있으신가요 오늘 경기?
오늘 저희 팀이 지고 있으면 제가 마지막에 나가서 올킬하죠.
Are you confident advance to the
멋있습니다.
finals?
오늘 대단한 자신감을 보여주시는데요. 이 시간 정말 감독님과 선수들 많이 긴장하고 있을 것
If
같고
our team is losing today, I'll just come out and I'll kill
감독님과
everybody.
선수들 외에도 많이 긴장하고
Joya
이 시간
fighting.
함께 응원하고 계신 분들이 있는데요. 바로 팬분들입니다.
Prime coach looking a little
팬분들께 한마디씩 부탁드리겠습니다.
Yeah, a little startled. Just say something to your fans.
저희 프라임팀 응원해 주시는 팬분들께 정말 감사드리고요. 그리고 지금 형섭이가 상당히 저희 팀 이렇게
Thanks to all the fans cheering for Prime.
나와서 마무리하겠다 하는데
And
형섭이 같은 경우는
also, Choya seems to be very confident.
Choya seems very confident.
게임 했을 때도
He
했었지만
thinks that if
제가
Choya
선수여도
should really, that
충분히
if Choya would come out and win, they would definitely win the clan match
허수가
today.
빈틈이 많은 선수이기 때문에 저희 팀 선수는 절대로 이영 선수가 나오면 지지 않을 거예요.
Choya is actually really bad.
한마디 해주시죠.
프라임이 오늘 왜 이렇게 강하게 나오는지 모르겠는데 질문이 좀 난감한 질문이어서 이렇게 된 것 같아요. 근데
I don't know why Prime is acting so strong. They should know their place. Is actually what he just said.
우승한 거는 테란 맵이어서 우승이 가능했다고 생각하고 있고 그 외에 프라임 선수들 딱히 잘한다고 생각하는 선수 없거든요. 그래서 기회 된다면 진짜 오늘 마지막에 나가서 꼭 프라임.
I don't really think Prime's that strong.
그렇군요. 오늘 굉장히 뜨거운 경기가 예상이 되는데요. 오늘 어떤 멋진 드라마가 펼쳐질지 끝까지 지켜봐 주시기 바랍니다. 이상 저는 지금까지 마지막 한 장 남은 결승 티켓을 두고 싸우는 프라임과 FXO 팀을 만나봤습니다. 전 잠시 후 결승 진출팀 인터뷰로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 박찬희
Okay,
캐스터
so-
나와주세요.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah, they look like they have some sort of rivalry. I wonder how that's going to develop through this match here. It makes things a little bit more interesting, a little bit more exciting that we have these.
Not what we are used to.
Yeah, not what we're used to have these coaches kind of trash talk each other a little bit. It looked like some of it was a little bit joking, but I feel like Gerard actually took a little bit offense to it. Like he seemed like he wasn't very happy about what Choya was saying.
There was definitely an edge to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how that develops throughout the match today. If something crazy happens to him, Gerard takes his jacket off. He's got like a Prime jersey underneath, and he's like, "No, I'm playing." Now he comes out against Choya after Choya comes out.
You mean if he pulls an ace, goes for the Hulk mode?
we'll see what happens. I highly doubt Gerard will be playing today, but we're gonna have Mr. Che talking. He's coming in to add his thoughts to the Korean cast here.
약간 신경전을 펼치면서 최지원 리포터가 이렇게 막 당황하는 모습을 만든 다음에 제가 들어와서 최지원 리포터를 폭풍 갈궈서 울게 만드는 이걸 제가 준비하고 오늘 와가지고 메이크업하고 중계 넣으면서
Mr. Che is basically explaining that because it's April Fool's Day,
너무 잘하는데요?
they try to have the coaches fight against each other, but it looks like it didn't really work that well.
없이 원래대로.
이게 원래는 그래서 제가 마이크도 여기 차고 몰래 이렇게 마이크도 차고
Okay, so basically they wanted to trick G1, our reporter, but she was a little bit too. Well, she handled it quite well.
She did handle it pretty well.
감독분들이 두 분의 감독분들이 일부러 이렇게 약간 도발성으로 거만한 표정을 했거든요.
See, basically, he's saying that we expect her to be really professional, but she didn't look flustered at all. Or we expect her to be really flustered, but she was really professional. She didn't look flustered at all. I think Mr. Che is Mr. Che hitting on the interviewer girl right now?
박예시 게임 잘했지 연기 못하잖아요. 최지원 리포터가 차분히 참고.
She used to be a musical actress, so maybe that's why.
그래서 오늘
And he's saying that basically she just didn't look nervous at all.
That kind of backfired.
That didn't quite work.
No, not at all.
아니죠.
She actually looked pretty cool with everything that happened.
Yeah, she really did.
욕심 있는 안준영 해설 리포터님 근거 없는 헛소문일 뿐입니다. 아닙니다.
He's saying that because Mr. Che and G1 have the same last name, of course that's Che. Asking if there's any sort of a relationship there. Maybe she's the younger sister of Mr. Che.
A lost brother.
없는 채로 연기를 위해서 일부러 했다라는 걸 말씀드리면서 저희의 미숙한 몰래카메라 기능.
I mean, he's basically just saying, of course the coaches don't have beef with each other. That was like a failed prank. I was like even trying, I like knew about it, but I was like, I'm just gonna try to go with this. Maybe they'll do something later, but I guess Mr. Che is like, he like came over to say like, sorry guys, our joke failed. But he did it gracefully, and Mr. Che basically did it in such a way that, you know, he made her look really good.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna ask her out to dinner after this. I don't know.
I think her boyfriend would probably object.
Oh, she has a boyfriend?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think someone told me at some point. Well. No DT stalking for you this time.
Well, anyway,
He's really
I have to come to
disappointed.
terms with this, guys, but I actually had a lot of tweets yesterday about the DT. Can a DT see itself in the mirror without an observer?
Oh, and what's the conclusion?
Most people couldn't decide. Nobody really knows. It doesn't. It seems like people can't figure it out because
One of the mysteries in the Starcraft universe,
Yeah.
guys, if you didn't tune in yesterday, can a DT see itself in the mirror?
yeah, tweet at us at ProxyWolf and Caldor. Tell us what you think.
Talking about it, we actually did never come back to your story. So people waited a whole day now to
About my
finally...
subway story.
Yeah, so after I kind of explained why Koreans turn into monsters as soon as they enter a subway at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think we now have a little bit of time
I don't know,
left.
man. I think I want to save this story now.
You want to save it?
Yeah, I want to save this. Who knows when it'll come out?
You know that you're just building up, and if it turns out that the story really
Yeah,
sucks...
if it turns out if it sucks, man, I guess it looks really bad, but I don't want to talk about that story now, because look at this, man.
Yep.
Watch this camera zoom in. Look at those teams. Look at those booths. Look at this guy. He is our starting Prime player.
It is...
Boom Boom! Of course, his ID basically refers to farting noises. He's really known for his celebrations. He used to do celebrations by eating food after a win. Even if he wasn't the one who won, he would always be eating something on the booth when his teammates won. Maybe he's on a diet now, I don't know. He hasn't done that in a while.
And he does not have an easy time in his first game. He is up against a Terran player on Antigua shipyard.
They're talking in chat, making fun of him because his face looks funny. Like in the lobby chat, he was like stretching like that, and they're like, "Hey, you're on camera," and he's like, "Oh my god," he's a little bit embarrassed. And of course, his opponent, our starting player for FXOpen, it is the Towel Terran, FXO Gumiho.
The towel right in front of him.
Gumiho is such a strong player in all matchups right now. I think FXOpen in a way has the better starting edge here, but if he loses, I think things might fall apart.
Well, the thing is, if you know that the opening map is going to be Antigua and you put a Zerg player on this map, then you already expect that you're probably meeting a Terran player. So on this map, I think Boom Boom is really confident.
As far as I know, a week beforehand, the players are told who their opponent is, so he's had about a week to practice. That's the way the format used to be when I was helping coach FXOpen. That's what we were told.
Let's face it, he has a ton of good Terran players in his team to prepare with.
Absolutely he does. And of course, both of these teams, something a lot of people might not expect or know, is that both of these teams actually seek help from other teams to practice. FXOpen practiced a lot with TSL, for example, when I was living with them, and I know that Prime works with a lot of other teams as well. Because once one team is out, or if they're not in your particular division, there's no downside to practicing with a team. It's just a good way to get good practice and kind of form a good relationship between teams.
The fan prediction here in favor of Gumiho.
Yeah, heavily.
Guys, the first game, the countdown just started. We are going live with Prime against FXO, Boom Boom against Gumiho at the semi-final. And who's taking the first win today? Who is just going the first few meters in order to achieve the goal, in order to reach the final in Las Vegas?
Only time will tell, Calder. I am so excited to get into this map. The game is ready. We are ready. Find out just how ready these players are. They've been practicing for this all week. It all comes down to this. Boom Boom against Gumiho here in the first set of the GSTL semifinals.
And here we go with game number 1. To the right side of the map of Antigua Shipyard, we have our Prime player. It is the Zerg in the red collar.
Boom boom. Prime.
Boom Boom Prime opening here for the Prime team. He's up against Terran in the first of a series of epic matches. To the left, cross position, we have the FXO player in the blue. The Terran known as
FXO. Gumiho.
So Gumiho, the Towel Terran. You can see it now. He's getting ready. Oh man, I'm so pumped to watch these matches.
Oh yeah.
I just see, look at his movements there. He looks so serious.
And Gumiho, who we just see on screen, is actually up in his best matchup. His matchup against Zerg has a 58% win quota. He played roughly like 50 games and will have an early scout already for Boom Boom here.
Yep. Wants to make sure his opponent is not 2-raxing him. At least not a very offensive 2-racks in the middle of the map or anything like that.
Interesting to note about Boom Boom is that, statistically speaking, the matchup against Terran is his weakest one. But if we have a look at his recent games, then we see that he won against Keen, he won against Tart, and he took down Noblesse. So he was improving against Terran quite a lot, and we'll see if he's actually able to pull this off.
French fan says, I'm in transit for 8 hours and I'm here for StarCraft.
Wow. 8 hours? That sounds horrible.
Well,
actually, it's pretty cool because you can go and watch the semifinals of the GSTL.
That's very cool, man. But consider like our flight that we're about to have to take is actually quite long. I'm like, I don't know. 8 hours sounds pretty nice. The drone actually gets in here, surprisingly enough, and we'll be able to see no gas, which means it will be a 1 barracks expand. Very unlikely that there will be a forward barracks out on the map. Now, it was hatch first, followed by gas before pool, so this is going to be a really good build order for Boom Boom since his opponent is not putting on any early pressure. Since he got his pool so late, he actually doesn't lose anything from that.
He cuts quite a few corners here, but he's able to do it. We have a bit of a gas deal in the main base of Gumiho now, who just sent out his own SCV in order to get some scouting information about his opponent's opening. And take a little bit of a gamble here, Boom Boom, playing a little bit risky, and I kind of like it. On this map, usually you expect, for example, either barracks into expand or reactor factory Hellions, but not too much pressure at the early game.
Indeed, I really like Boom Boom's pattern of play here, taking some risks, but also scouting early so he can prepare for any sort of aggression he might encounter. Does end up losing his drone. Now the scouting SCV for Gumiho runs into the main base here. He will see that the drones have been pulled out of gas, so he's not going to be dealing with any early baneling aggression, most likely. He starts to take his gases at home as well right now.
But he has a lot of options now. He goes with a fast speed, so he has the options of catching Hellions, for example, off guard, or putting in a little bit of pressure when he realized that his opponent is playing too greedy. If Gumiho would now play like really risky, he had means of just punishing him for it. So it gives him a lot of flexibility. He can scout with the Zerglings, has a little bit more map control than if he would have started without gas. We've seen quite often Zerg players trying to get an earlier third, get 4 queens, very late gas, and this is definitely something that Boom Boom here is not trying.
Exactly. I like this style for this map because it's really easy to defend aggression as a Terran player on this map with the secondary ramp. And not only that, since it's cross positions no matter what, it's kind of far away. And if you mess up your aggression in any way, it's just so hard to transition on this map. It's a map that's already difficult for Zerg. So for that reason, a lot of Zergs like to put that pressure on. They like to do all-ins because they're like, well, I can't beat him in a straight-up game. But to have the attitude that Bungung has here, like, no, I'm just going to play a longer game, I really like that. Now, something to note is that Gumiho is checking for a third base as he starts his own.
28 Zerglings building right now, so definitely some aggression here from Bungung.
I like this because there's no bunker in play. He's seen this.
He just builds the first bunker, and the thing that Gumiho is trying to do here, he's not going for Reactor Factory Hellions into expand, but he expands first, gets the Hellions a little bit later, and this is a ton of Zerglings, so if he builds the first Hellions and they are suddenly caught by the Zerglings, he will lose all means of defending the space. And Gumiho might have to lift here.
He may have to lift. There are so many Zerglings out right now, a total of 33. And also, if Gumiho sees these Zerglings, he may freak out and start making a ton of bunkers. That's not too bad. Here we go. The SCVs are not ready to repair. The depots are raised, but he's going to lose his bunker. I think you're exactly right, Connor. We may have to lift. He is starting to get a little bit of repair here, but the Hellions have mostly gone down.
Exactly. Both Hellions are already dead, and he's attacking the bunker. Now the SCV is trying to get back into the base, and already all the Marines are gone. He's trying to run up there, but the two Hellions saved the remaining SCVs, and now he will have to lift indeed, while Bungung is taking a third and droning up.
Yep, right now the supply 56 to 35. Bungung taking a 20 supply lead after that, killing 6 workers. His opponent now double eBay adding here. He does have 3 command centers. That's something to consider, so he will be able to get his work count up very quickly. But losing the Hellions means not only that he lost a lot of supply, that he, a lot of attacking units, but he no longer has the map control that he wants. He even has to retreat up his ramp a second time here. He's gonna lose another Hellion.
Oh, now the Zerglings are finally gone. But let's just talk a little bit about what he achieved here. He was able to force a lift on the second orbital command. He forced his opponent to just lift off, lost a lot of mining time here, and at the same time he was able to take the third. Something that most Terran players try to prevent with Hellions. As a Terran, you try to get the Hellions into the picture to gain map control, to just dominate the map for a while, force the creep pack and get the third. And this is something that he could not do. The third is building right now, but he can't kill it with Hellions. It's just impossible. He can do a bit of damage, but he always has to be careful where the Zerglings are.
Yeah, because with his Hellion count this low, he cannot fight the Zerglings no matter what. 11 drones on the way right now, a Roach Warren and an Evo Chamber.
I really like the Roach Warren here. He's taking all the precautions and gives him another option of being a little bit more aggressive. Nice run by here with the Lynx, trying to catch some of these SCVs. He's doing an awesome job, and he's losing mining time, tons of it, and also those 2 mules lose a lot of time.
Yeah, he's
3 of them.
So many SCVs here. The total workers killed is actually 13. But more important than the workers killed is that the pressure timings that Gumiho would have normally had, he no longer has. The worker count is 57 to 31.
This is kind of insane. This is really crazy here.
Notice Bungung has actually contributed more to the Prime team than any other player in Team League. That's something I really want to note, because if you look at his individual win rates, they're not that impressive. If you look at his individual leagues, they're also, a little bit lacking. But if you think about how much Bungung has really done for his team, it's actually so much. It's incredible. He's such a key player for Team League.
You can really tell that he prepared for this match like crazy. We just saw a shot of the Overlord, who is not able to spot the third, so he doesn't know about the third command center, which is a little bit of a misstep here, but his opening is just so
Oh my
great.
god, he has 72 drones at 36.
He's doubling.
He has skimped so much on units because he's put so much pressure on Gumiho that Gumiho can no longer feel comfortable to move out or pressure.
Yeah.
This is a unique style that I feel like I haven't seen very often, with only pure Zergling aggression after scouting, basically a lack of defense. It kind of snowballs out of control. How many workers he's able to make in the middle of the map right now? There's very few Zerglings, but these are enough to scare him because he doesn't know how many more are back at home, and the reality is there just aren't very many. There's only 3 out right now.
His unit control is awesome. This is something that we've seen from Lenok for a while, and now we have him with +1/+1 upgrades. He's even going for the speed upgrade for his Overlords, which I love after finishing his lair tech, and he's going for Spire, something that is very rare lately against Terran players, because what we usually have is more of an Infestor heavy play, as many Terran players are now able to deal with the Mutalisks a lot better. But in this situation, it makes so much sense, and I'm so impressed how Bungung plays here.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed as well. Gumiho's play looks strong here, but he's going to lose a few more of his units now.
The Marines are already upgraded on 1-1, have a bit of an edge here, and we have a siege tank in the back defending. Gumiho gets already +2/+2, so with those 2 early engineering base that he built, he is in a position where he can get the faster upgrades, is trying to reach Stim, but he is hard pressed, and just look at it. Boom Boom is getting the 4th already.
Yeah, he's getting a
And
4th base.
Gumiho is nowhere near dropping.
Yeah, he's nowhere near dropping. He has no starport. He's no drop options. He needs to build an army. He's starting his starport now. 6 mutas are on the way. Baneling speed is done. +2 Carapace is on the way as +1 melee weapons is finishing up here. You know, Gumiho is not out of this yet, but he has to play very defensively right now. This allows his opponent to tech and expand at the same time, but if Gumiho gets that stronger 200-200 army with 3-3, he may have a timing to really make something work here.
Missile turret is built right next to the tank. He actually expects infestors here. There might be infestors just trying to get in with a burrow mode. There are no turrets in the main base. Those Mutalisks, they might hit hard, and he's droning up once again. Just look at it. He's at 82. He's at 82 harvesters. He will have 85 in a few seconds. It's adding +2/+2. He is 40 supply ahead. This is just amazing. Oh, 1 turret in the main base after all. Sorry, missed this one.
Yeah, he just made 1 turret there. But for the most part, he has skimped a lot on the turrets, just really trying to use his army to defend here. But because he's skimped, he has a lot of weak spots. These mutas are going for it. Stim is not done yet.
The Mutalisks are just basically doing what he already did in the earlier stages of the game. They are once again pressuring the Terran. First he used his Zerglings, now he's using Mutalisks, and those Mutalisks will help him to shut down drop play. So he is in a position where he can defend his 4th base a lot better.
Yeah, he is really playing for the late game in this game. He is actually setting up so much infrastructure right now, getting all of his upgrades, getting another hatchery that'll put him up to about, I think, 6 hatcheries in total. Yeah, 6 hatcheries.
Oh,
that's
I love it. Look at
so
this.
many.
He's going for the infestation pit now. We've seen quite often, especially on Antigua, that some Terran players some reserve players are a little bit stuck in the mindset of taking down their opponent on tier 1, on tier 2, for example. We've seen this with July. We've seen this with don't laugh, it's true.
We have, man. That's all we've seen from July, man.
We've seen this with Hyung, for example, but he is already transitioning into the Hive tech. He will be able to get +3/+3. He will be able to get Brood Lords, Full Ballists, whatever he pleases to choose. And this is just such a smart game so far by him.
Yeah, it's looking really good. He's up 50 supply, but the upgrades in the Terran's favor still. He's got 3-3 on the way, but there'll be a timing with even upgrades. +2 is on the way, of course, for the vehicle weapons as well. So that's going to really help him. He's adding a few Thors in the mix here because the mutas are starting to get a little bit out of control for him.
And just let's talk a little bit about Gumiho here. He actually, there's another attack with the Mutalisk now in the main base, just sniping this 1 turret, trying to get another supply depot. But Gumiho is kind of stabilizing right now. He was caught with his pants off earlier on, but now he's in a position where he tries to completely stabilize on his 3 bases, and he never skipped the beat with his upgrades. This is something that we really have to mention here. Even though he was so hard-pressed, he never skipped the beat with his upgrades and is now on his way to +3/+3, which will help him a lot.
That is going to be so important. Like I mentioned earlier, sticking on 3 bases, kind of turtling up, almost playing this like PvZ in a way, where he just has to sit back and get that very strong, heavily upgraded, maxed out army, and then he can try to trade against a Zerg player. But these Mutalist backstabs are going to start to take their toll. Looks like Gumiho has reached the going point, but there are so many Banelings. There are 56 Banelings here. He's not sieged.
Oh my god, and the siege mode is up, but all these Mutalisks are helping out. The Banelings and Zerglings doing the damage. He's just forcing everything back. The Thor not in position to attack the Mutalisks.
A much better trade for Boom Boom, and he's going to take out the tanks and the Thors here.
Boom Boom is now on 180 supply against the 120, 88 drones against 66. This guy is playing such a great game.
He really is. No 4th command center in sight for Gumiho. Things looking worse and worse for him as this game goes on.
Wolf pointed out earlier, those players know roughly a week in advance who they are going to face. And from just what we see here, Boom Boom must have been training like crazy against Marine King, against the Marine Prince, and all these Terran players in the Prime team. This is just incredible. Awesome game here by Boom Boom. And Gumiho has no chance of getting aggressive here.
Yeah, he has to wait until he's basically maxed out again. The crease spread, which from the beginning of the game he wasn't able to control because of that Zergling aggression, is now so far across the map, it's actually gotten on top of the Watchtower. If the Zerg player ever controls a Watchtower and is ahead, it's almost impossible for the Terran to win. Broodlord tech is on the way, +3 Carapace, Adrenal Glands, he has Infestors out now. How can Gumiho attack? He's in a position where he can barely even move.
And the map is in complete control of Boom Boom. He has units everywhere for scouting reason. Here comes
Here we
the attack
go.
of the Zerg. He's going
The
in
tanks
once
are on
again.
siege.
Fungal's going off, and he is only controlling a few mutalisks right now, while the Zerglings and Banelings do the real damage here.
Yeah, even though this isn't the most cost-efficient trade, he's going to trade really well here. He's going to maybe even take out some SCVs. Nice control, actually, there by Gumiho at the last moments. He didn't lose as much as I thought he would, but he's still in a tough spot here. +3 vehicle weapons on the way now, but 7 Corruptors. We all know what those are for. They're going to be for Broodlords since he has so much control. This is the one moment Gumiho has to take control of the center. He's cleaning up the creep. He's taking the watchtower. If he can control this area, he may be able to push his way through, but it's still looking so tough for him right now.
He may be able to take down the 4th base that is just now building, and this is exactly the reason why Antigua Shipyard is a map that is normally in favor of Terran. We have another engagement as Gumiho tries to secure the center of the map, tries to get into this position that is so feared by Zerg players. They've tried to prevent Terrans from getting control of the center of the map, and Boom Boom might be able to pull it up, but
Gumiho, great control here. He's trading really well. The supply deficit getting smaller and smaller. It looks like Gumiho may be able to mount a comeback, but his window of time is closing as the Broodlords are now morphing.
he doesn't have any anti-air whatsoever, Wolf. He has not a single Viking out on the map.
Yeah, he's going to kill some drones here in the middle of the map, but you're exactly right. No Vikings in sight. He hasn't even started production. He's continuing medevac production right now. He only has the 1 starport, so even though he's denying a little bit of mining here, he doesn't have a 4th command center. He has no way out. He has no transition here.
What you usually are afraid of on Antigua if you use Broodlords is that your army is caught off guard, because as soon as the Viking count is getting out of control, your opponent will not be able to not only be able to take down the Corruptors, but also take down all of the Broodlords. They are so slow, and you can't really defend against drop play. This is why we usually see rather the choice for Ultralisks. But in this position, it makes so much sense for Boom Boom to go for the Broodlord composition.
Yeah, he has
and force
control of
his
the
opponent
center.
back.
He has control of the center right now.
And he's using his queens. Look, his grip spread is so awesome that he can use queens for the transfuses as well.
Absolutely, man. And the upgrades, of course, are really good for both players. With the +3 vehicle weapons upgrade, though, for the tanks, they're stronger than ever. He just cannot really use them. Boom Boom is out-positioning him here. I have to say, though, Gumiho, for being on 3 bases, as long as he's been on 3 bases, he has actually made great decisions.
Yes.
It looks like it's just not going to be enough, though. He has no way to break out here. He couldn't take control of the center, and I think that may be the nail in the coffin for him. He's trying to split his units here. He's trying to prepare for this engagement. He has no intention of using Vikings. He just hopes that he can kill the ground army, then dart under the Broodlords. His army is really well split, but a great bungle.
Awesome, so well done here by Boom Boom. And Gumiho is trying to rely on Marines and also Thors in order to defeat this Broodlord army, but there are too many infestors.
Yeah, there's so many infestors, but there's no real buffer underneath here. But now the Zerglings come in, and it looks like it's just going to be too much Pelter. There's too many transfuses available, and I think this is going to be it for Gumiho in game 1.
Oh my god, he is just trying to defend, but is he able to pull it off?
Well, it looks like he's going to be able to push this pushback for now.
No energy on the infestors, and the Broodlords, they are taken down by the Marines.
I cannot believe how well Gumiho has been doing despite the situation he's in. Oh my god, he's not stimming his Marines because he doesn't have to chase here.
Gumiho, he holds again.
I cannot believe he held this, but he can't really approach this ramp. There's Broodlords and Banelings at the top.
And we have now 4 mining bases, 5 mining bases for Boom Boom. Well, Gumiho, he's on 3 bases. He just can't sustain it. He doesn't have the bank of Boom Boom. Great play by Gumiho, but Boom Boom is just too strong. What an amazing performance here.
But watching Gumiho's play as well was like watching a man with like 1 arm and 1 leg climb Mount Everest. I was like, oh, he might actually make it. I cannot believe it. But great play overall from both players. The Boom Boom style definitely won out there. His opening was brilliant. He was able to control the map. His creep spread was crazy. Without that creep spread, he wouldn't have been able to control the middle of the map as well. Controlling the Hellions in early game and TDZ is so important for the Zerg. If he can do that, he gets this unbelievable amount of freedom in what he can do.
If Gumiho starts with the Reactor Factory Hellions into expansion right away, then he has 4 Hellions out by the time these Zerglings hit. As it is, he only had 2, and those 2 just didn't hold a candle against the army of Zerglings that was streaming in. So early on, already taking the lead, Boom Boom playing so well, and he didn't miss a thing. He started with his upgrades, he went for the Mutalisk, he put on pressure the entire game, was then able to transition into the Hive Tech, and this was so important. We've seen so many Zerg players on Antigua Shipyard just kind of relying on their tier 2 army, relying on Mutalisks, on Zerglings and Banelings, and just missing the opportunity to go for the Hive Tech, for the Infestation Pit, but he did not do that. He just kept and he just had his brain in the game. It was amazing.
It was absolutely great play. I was just so impressed by his ability to make just the right amount of production facilities. He never overcommitted, and he knew he never made a 4th command center, not because he's not thinking about taking a 4th base. He just knows it's impossible. He's like, that will not happen this game. I'm not even going to waste 400 minerals on that right now. I'm just going to stick with my 3 bases, try to max out. My upgrades are decent, but Boom Boom kept up with the upgrades. He actually was able to catch up. It was really, really impressive.
Gummio knew that the economy of the Zerg player was getting out of control. He pushed out, tried to do some damage, tried to maybe catch his opponent off guard, but there was this huge Baneling army already in position, the Zerglings as well. The Mutalisk streamed in and pushed the Marines back, took down tanks and Thors. There was nothing he could do, and now we have the next player for the FXO team. Who is it gonna be?
Oh, it's gonna be ASD. ASD coming out right away here.
FXO going for the TVT.
ASD is looking really good right now in all matchups. To use them against Boom Boom is kind of a choice I think they have to make here, because even though Boom Boom looks so strong in that first TVT, even on a Terran favored map, you can't just use a sniper this early. You cannot do that. So ASD is going to come out, try to take out Boom Boom, and then the next match is going to be the one where ASD is like, yeah, I'm actually an all-around good player. No matter what matchup I have, I'm going to be okay. So I really like the choice to use him here second, because ASD has done so much more for his team than he really gets recognition for. I mean, you can see his average wins are 0.17, and in the team league, he doesn't even come out that much. He doesn't win that much, but in practice, you know, talking to FXOpen in practice, this guy has been such a valuable asset, and he looks really strong in the team house. And to use him today is something that FXOpen has been planning on for a long time. They really feel comfortable with him right now. And the map he has chosen, ladies and gentlemen, is actually so interesting.
Oh, yes.
It is Calm Before the Storm.
And this is a map, we talked about this map in length in the past, but I think we have to just talk a little bit about it again now, because this is a map where Zerg players have a huge disadvantage, and this is one of the reasons why we, for example, already saw 3 hatch before pool, just really unusual builds, sometimes even against Terran pushes with Hydralisk. There is so much crazy stuff going on Calm Before the Storm, but we will be back after 5 minutes, after a short break, and then we will jump right into the next ZVT of the day here with the Prime up against FXO.